cannot claim to be for unity if you try to overturn a free and fair election.
Vice President Kamala Harris is looking to become the first female president of the United States. She became the front runner for the Democratic nomination after President Joe Biden bowed to pressure from within the party and dropped out of the race in July. Swiftly, she won the support of the party heavyweights and was the only candidate to qualify for the Democratic presidential ballot, which ensured the outcome of the delegate voting was never in doubt. The 60-year-old is a former U.S. Senator and California Attorney General. She is the first female, American, African-American, and Asian person to serve as vice president. She officially became the vice president on January the 20th, 2021, after being sworn in by the Supreme Court Justice. Back in 2003, Harris became San Francisco's district attorney. While serving in the role, she launched the Back on Track initiative, offering job training and other educational programs for low-level offenders. In 2010, as the first African-American and woman to be California's Attorney General, she quickly made an impact by pulling out of negotiations for a settlement from the country's 5 largest financial institutions for improper mortgage practices. Eventually, in 2012, she scored a $20 million payout, 5 times the original proposed figure for her state.
Republicans in Congress.
She is now looking to break the glass ceiling further by becoming the first woman to lead America if she prevails in the November 5 election.
Hi.
How are you?
Good to see you. How are you?
According to her White House profile, as vice president, Harris has represented the United States on over a dozen foreign trips during her term and has met with more than 150 world leaders to help strengthen global alliances. As recently as last year, many inside the White House and the Biden campaign team privately worried that Harris was a liability for the campaign. However, Democratic officials say the situation has changed significantly since then as she stepped forward on abortion rights and courted young voters. Recent polls showed that Mr. Trump had built a lead over Biden, including in battleground states, after Biden's disastrous debate performance in June. But Harris's entry to the race changed the dynamic, with recent polls showing a tight contest. Vice President Harris was born in Oakland, California on October the 20th, 1964. She is married to Doug Emhoff, an entertainment and intellectual property lawyer. The two met in 2013 and were married the next year. She is stepmom to Emhoff's 2 grown children, Ella and Cole, who call Harris Momala. When Harris was elected vice president, her husband became the first spouse to be referred to as second gentleman, as well as the first Jewish spouse of a president or vice president.
Stuff to just be plain weird.
Without any political experience, Donald Trump became the 45th president of the United States, taking office in January 2016. During the primaries, he defeated more than a dozen rivals to win the Republican nomination. While he lost the popular vote, he defeated former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton by winning a majority of the Electoral College votes. His campaign slogan was, "Make America Great Again."
From this day forward.
As president, he signed a major tax reform bill into law and oversaw a reduction of federal regulations. The Trump administration also renegotiated trade agreements with several countries.
I am announcing today that the United States.
Other domestic priorities included Supreme Court and federal judiciary appointments, increased military budgets, aggressive border and immigration control, criminal justice reform, and the reduction of prescription drug prices. In foreign policy, the Trump administration moved the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, a controversial issue. He also brokered normalization agreements between Israel and a number of countries.
The motion is agreed to. The Senate, sitting as a court of impeachment, stands adjourned sine die.
In 2019, the House of Representatives impeached President Trump based on allegations of obstruction of Congress and abuse of power. He became the first U.S. president impeached in the country's history. The Senate acquitted Trump on both articles of impeachment.
Today, our nation has achieved a medical miracle.
In 2021, the Trump administration was consumed with the coronavirus pandemic. The U.S. recorded its first case on January 20, 2020. Critics argue that Trump's response to the pandemic was delayed and did not sufficiently encourage public health practices to reduce the spread of the virus. Trump himself was infected with the virus but recovered soon after.
How you doing, man? Vote now.
Trump lost re-election to Democratic candidate Joe Biden in 2020, but publicly claimed widespread voter fraud had affected the outcome. Supporters of the Trump campaign traveled to Washington, D.C. for a Save America rally on January 6, 2021.
Now it is up to Congress to confront this.
Trump addressed large crowds on the ellipse near the White House and encouraged attendees to protest the counting of Electoral College votes in Congress. The rally turned violent when the president's supporters overwhelmed law enforcement, breaching the United States Capitol and disrupting the vote count. 5 people died as a result of the violence, and the Capitol complex suffered millions of dollars in damage. On January 13, 2021, Trump's actions resulted in the House of Representatives approving another article of impeachment, the incitement of insurrection. Now he's up against U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, looking to be the 47th President of the United States. Donald Trump was born in Queens, New York, on June 14, 1946. In 2005, he married Melania Noss. They have one son, Barron. Donald Trump also has 4 adult children from previous marriages: Donald Jr., Ivanka, Eric, and Tiffany.